This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 16, verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Now, Athan, call Halalium, La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rucha Hakwadash, Shalom Laha Alahayim, giving all praises to Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, peace to the gods, double honors unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the head elders of all the camps of Great Millstone, GMS, who do well. Salutations and blessings upon the house of David, the elect of Israel, the 144,000 and the remaining one-third. May peace and blessings be upon the houses of you sincere Akim Wa, very few Akwath that obey the gospel. It's your brother Tazapanyah, Banyamyan of the Sons of Yasharala camp out here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Coming to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai with a quick hit. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. So I got this video queued up. This is Black Swan Capitalist, right? And he's big on like the crypto and things of that nature. And he's having an interview with Gerald Celente talking about how World War III has begun and the global financial collapse. Okay. And notice how it's tied together. Finances in the geopolitical stage has always been tied together. And I brought out that scripture in Second Esdras. Why? Because of the fact that it proves, as the topic says, financial turmoil always precedes war. All right. And then we're going to go, they're going to talk about it, how every war there was major monetary issues right immediately before shit hit the fan. Okay. So in the scriptures, in Second Esdras, when it was saying victuals, meaning food. Matter of fact, let's read it again. All right. This is Second Esdras 16-21 again. And it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth. So victuals is food, right? That they shall think themselves to be in good case. See, the scripture says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden, trouble cometh upon them, as if woman travaileth with child, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, so that good case is that peace and safety. All right, but that sudden trouble is what? It talks about it. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, you see? Because in every war, famine is going to start because the nations prioritize their food supplies for their soldiers in order to make sure that they're alive to continue to keep fighting, right? Sword, because hell is breaking loose because of inflation and money going towards the war and things of that nature. Great confusion because it happened so suddenly when, a type of snowball effect. It just gets to the point where it's affecting you personally. But in verse 22 it says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So notice it's giving you a dichotomy here. All right, two seemingly different topics that happen to correlate. Okay, so there's going to be famine, and there's also going to be war, domestic war. All right, so if you know you escape the hunger, then the wars, right? The Civil War, the militias, the marauders is going to get you, all right? Because it's going to be anarchy in the streets, all right? So we're going to play this video through the spirit, maybe get another precept or so, and then close it out. Quick hit. Let's turn this up a little bit.
Obviously, this is intentional. And when interest rates are raised, there are fewer borrowers, which means less money is circulating in theory. So this is really, it seems like they're buying time for some sort of monetary reset.
Well, what you first said, one of my sayings is when all else fails, they take you to war.
So look what the black swan capitalist guy said. He says it seems like they're buying time for the Great Reset. Okay, keep that in mind. And then just like Gerald Celente said, one of his quotes, matter of fact, let's just get him to say it again.
It seems like they're buying time for some sort of monetary reset.
Well, what you first said, one of my sayings is when all else fails, they take you to war.
Right.
And you go what followed World War II, the Great Depression, World War II.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What followed the dot-com bust, the War on Terror.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be the same thing again.
See, so the Great Depression happened. It started in 29, right? And the 30s was very bad. I think 1930. That's when the Great Depression started. Slovakia, and World War II happened. Maybe around 39, because it ended in 1945. I know that for sure. All right, so but the point is the financial collapse in the 30s, where in the early 40s World War II happened. Like he said, the dot-com bubble. When was that? In the late 90s. All right, it was in like 1999 in like November. They called it Black Tuesday, I think, where shit hit the fan in the stock market. Because everybody was investing in this computer shit, and IBM was at the top, and blah, 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 blah. You don't even barely hear of IBM anymore. Now you hear, Apple and, Microsoft and all of that, right? And then what happened? 2001, the War on Terror after, the, what's the name? Twin Towers fell. Inside job. Okay. So he said it's going to happen again, and that's true, which proves MOTB, like I said in my topic, because if we know the third woe is prophesied in the scriptures, which is World War III, a financial collapse has to come. Why? Because there has to be a great reset, which is a new system, which is going to be a cashless digital society, and that is going to be used via of individuals buying and selling with the RFID chip, you see? And when that is enacted, just like how we're taught, and which makes sense through the spirit, through the scriptures, it's going to be an hour temptation, a small period of time, and then the missile's going to fly, you see? So, yeah, we in World War III, but the climax is the nuclear exchange, as he likes to call it. But he's on point that there has to be a global financial collapse first. Whether they know that they know about the CBDCs, but whether they know that the CBDCs is going to be used via the RFID CHIP, that's to be explained. But that's the point. All right. So this great reset and the CBDCs has to predate with the World War III. Okay.
The economies are failing around the world, and you're looking. It's a joke. They just came out. I forget what the number was in the EU. They just came out with the inflation number. You know, it's like 10%, or some ridiculously 8%, whatever it is. But it's down from, you know, the high from where it was, and things look good. Yes, inflation is killing people.
Right.
You know, they can't afford, and the real inflation numbers are double what they're putting out, because of, you go to John Williams' shadow stats, and he shows you how, you know, they changed it. They rigged the numbers to make it look like inflation is lower than it really is. So it's double that. And so they're going to get the people's minds off it with the war. Again, to show you that how effectively it works, let's go back to the war on terror.
Right.
Here you got a little boy with a pair of cojones smaller than a mothball, a little ignorant, stupid piece of garbage crap, George W. Bush.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden, dead or alive. That's his quote. 88% of the American people supported a United States invasion of Afghanistan, the longest war in American history. Totally forgot about the dot-com bust, the destruction that was going on, inner deep recession, really going down quick. We got to go over to Afghanistan. So the people are going to buy the same kind of crap. and then is a great reset by the Fed? You know, yes, in the sense that they will do anything to artificially prop up the markets. And they've come out and said this.
See, look, artificially prop up the markets. You know what that remind me of? A scripture in the book of Jeremiah. Let's get it. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 8, and it reads, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Now we know when Babylon suddenly falls, that's going to be through the missiles. But it says, howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. See, that's that artificial prop up with the interest rates going up every month from the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, chairman, Janet Yellen, and all of that, right? Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the sky. See, so that lets you know that it's talking about, you know, before Babylon gets fully destroyed. So it's kind of like a time traveling between the two scriptures. All right, because it said, "Let us go every one into his own country." And honestly, I have one more video, right? Because this just came out today, and we're gonna prove that. We're gonna prove that, and I'm gonna get one last precept, and then we're gonna close it.
Joining us here, Pebble Beach Ed Bastian, CEO of Delta Airlines. If there is a cyclical industry, something more cyclical than airlines, especially after the pandemic and 9/11, I don't know what it is. So at this point, is the pent-up demand that we saw that built up during the pandemic, is that starting to wear off, or is it still? It's not. It's
not at all. In fact, we'll be lapping the annualization of it this coming President's Day weekend. That's when the real surge occurred, and there's no signs that people were able to, in the space of a year, take care of almost 3 years of travel. So I think this is going to continue. I think it's going to be a multi-year incremental demand set.
How far out can you see? Are you looking at booking 6 months from now? And I ask only because if you talk to JP.
So just to give you, this is the Delta CEO getting interviewed on CNBC, which is the financial sector of the network NBC, right? And they're saying that there's a demand for travel, and they're looking at it through their numbers that it's going to be multi-year. All right, meaning that their stocks is going to go up because people are going to be wanting to travel so much. Now, why do you think people are going to want to be traveling so much? Now, remember, Delta is out of America. You see? So when we continue, like, you know, that they really go on. It's a 3-minute video. I'm not going to let it play. That's the point. So when we read in Jeremiah 51, verse 9, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Remember, we was talking about that artificial pump up of the dollar, of the stocks. You know, inflation is going rampant, unemployment and all of that. Or they say unemployment went down because people have to take more than one job just to survive. All right. Um, you know, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaches up to heaven and is lifted up even into the sky. See, so people, right, that is from different countries, different nationalities, is realizing that America's judgment is now come. So now they're booking travel outside where Delta Airlines stock is skyrocketing, all right, in 2023 because they want to get the fuck up out of here before this shit hit the fan, because every time you turn on the news is war, warmongering. All right, they selling you it because they're predictively programming it to put in your minds that war is gonna come with Russia, with China. All right. So these people is like, oh nah, we got to get out of here. You already see this whole passport bros movement. You know, underlyingly, yeah, for the women and this and that and the third, but a lot of them dudes, all right, they, they're not dumb because, they're not dealing with the American women anymore. You can't be, but do you have to get out the country in order to do that? You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say second edges for many have, lost their wits for women, right? So these dudes is, basically living just to go find them a wife, when we're through faith, we want to be chariot bros, right? And we'll get the women, when the time comes according to Yahweh Bashem Shah. But the point is that a lot of these passport bros is understanding that America is going to be, destroyed. It's going to get bad in America. Them niggas is not dumb. So they're trying to set up a life elsewhere, right? But this is not our rest. Because no matter where you go, for the whole land is polluted. Micah, what is that, 2:10? Right? Because if you're an Israelite, the curse is going to follow you anywhere. And you're going to have to go through the hour of temptation because he's going to cause all to take the charagma. All right? No matter where you at. Because everywhere is going to be seeing, because it's a global financial collapse. You see? It ain't just American collapse. The American dollar is going to crash, but that's the world reserve currency. Right, so now let's go to prove it again. Let's go to Isaiah, precept upon precept, line upon line. With 2 or 3 witnesses shall a thing be established. All right, so this is Isaiah 13, and this is verse 14, and it says, and it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land. And that's exactly basically what we read in Jeremiah chapter 51, the burden upon Babylon. All right. So people is understanding Babylon is going to be destroyed, and they're fleeing in great numbers to the point where Delta stock is increasing. Right. They not only know war is going to come, but they know the crash is going to come. You see? But us through faith, we have faith in Yahweh Shem Shah that he's going to, save us. Because we believe on the name of Yahweh Shah. He saves. He delivers. All right? So, Elder Malcolm did a video yesterday. Remember, the missiles ain't going to fly until that chip is mandatory. Okay? So, if they keep talking war and things is getting serious, which it is, that means that an economic collapse is imminent. Imminent, man. And shit, 2023 may be the year. Lord willing, it's the year. This is the hopeful year of all prophecies coming to pass. So Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. Abba Babor, Kwam Yasharala. Until the next time, Shalom. Shalom Laha Alahayim. Peace to the gods.